Hi friends, how are you doing? I'm Guru Rajan. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, let's see what are the good and bad things of being a software developer. Come, let's begin. Let's see the good things of being a software developer first. Before we go into the salary part of it, which is obviously a good thing, we get to work with some of the brightest people around. So you just look around your cubicle, you will see certainly some of the brightest people you will see in your vicinity. You always say that tell me about your friends, I'll tell you who you are. And we also say modern psychology is very clear on this, that your thoughts, your attitude, and also your growth is the average of the five closest friends you have. And obviously the five closest friends are in the office themselves, and they are the brightest too. So you get to work with some of the brightest people in the industry, and that's a big plus. That is one thing that is going to catapult your growth and leapfrog your career. You get all the benefits too. For example, the quadruplets in insurance, the health insurance, the dental insurance, life insurance, and accidental insurance for your accidental and life insurance for yourself, the health and dental insurance for you and your family is certainly there. When you are a software engineer, it's automatically taken care so that you can focus on the job at hand. In fact, some of the companies in certain countries even provide you the auto insurance, and they also give you the necessary down payment required to buy the vehicle of your choice in the pay grade that you're joining. So you have a ready-made auto insurance available for you along with the four usual insurance that you get. And then you have the in the United States and in some Asian countries also, so you have a 50% contribution from the company for 401k, and in other countries too, you have a 50% contribution from the company. So your savings is also taken care, which is usually around 20% of the basic that you draw in your salary. Now, a lot of times you also work with the software that you wanted to work. For example, if you're good in data science, if you're good in web development, probably you could get a job of your choice in the domain you wanted, which is such a good thing. Usually we don't usually get the luxury of working in the fields that you want. So in software, generally you get the domain of your choice. Sometimes you don't get it at the first attempt, but after a couple of years, you certainly have a chance to work in the domain of your choice. Obviously, the fourth idea is the food and the facility for the physical fitness that you want to keep is easily available at a stone's throw away. You can just come out of your office and you have very good healthy food available for you. And also to keep your health, you can indulge yourself in fitness in one of the finest equipped fitness gyms available in the place. Now let's look at the salaries of some of the important companies. So you can have a idea of the different levels where you are going to join. If you're joining at an entry level, so this is what is recorded in levels.foi. You can have a look at it. So you will see that you have a total package of $193,000, and then the stock is which probably has a vesting schedule of 3 to 4 years. So, and you have a $40,000 stock which is going to vest for you every year, so for in a time of 3 to 4 years. And then your salary component is around $135,000. If you deduct the tax for it, probably you're going to get around $88,000 a month after tax. Wow, that's pretty much exceptionally good for an entry-level engineer. And then usually you have 7 levels. So, and then after the 7th level, so you become distinguished engineer and then a Google fellow. So you will easily be getting around $1 million after 12, if everything goes well and if your performance is pretty good, in around 12 or 13 years you are going to hit $1 million in stocks and salary package included. So you can also look at the average salaries for the a software engineer position. So you can pretty much see that the average salary, the median itself is around $190,000, which actually means the third quartile is pretty much higher, around $240,000. If you do really well, you get around $240,000 as a third quartile, and the median salaries themselves are around $190,000, as you can see. So this is levels.fyi, which gives an idea of the salaries that you might expect of being a software developer. This is definitely one of the pros, one of the nice things that you do have when you become a software engineer. Now let's look at the cons of being a software developer. Now the very fact that you get a very good salary itself is bonding yourself to the job. It's very difficult to quit a high paying job at that. And also add on to it, you get all the benefits, all the different types of insurance. So it is very difficult to quit from all this and then do something of your own and then have a creative mindset of your own. So in a way, you get a lot of money, you get the desired salary you want, you get all the benefits. But if you want to trek, for example, to go for a small trek for a couple of days, or if you have a family and want to take your kids for a while, it's very difficult to spend quality time with the family once you're in software. So people do that, but you have to be very specific and plan a lot in order to spend time with your family. The other thing is, this is true in software, and many of the software engineers will vouch for this. If you are into office, for example, let's say for 8 or 9 hours, you're working on a new feature, and then there is a bug, there is a problem which never got solved. So probably it's going to spill over to the next day. You couldn't solve it that particular day. But in software, you can't switch off when you come out of your office. You can't switch off and then come back to your family and switch on the family time. It's very difficult to do that. The problems that you faced, the bugs that you have in software is actually lingering at the back of your mind all the time. You get a picture of the editor in your mind all the time, and you're thinking about the code all the time. You become pensive and you're not in the best of moods even though you come back and switched off your office. It's the idea of fixing a problem, especially in software, is very difficult to turn off once you come back to your home, and that's something that you have to cope up with. The other disadvantage, I'll be very plain speaking about it. You have been asked a lot of questions in the interview related to data structures and algorithms, but if you enter the job, probably you won't be using all the things that you studied for the interview so hard. So probably you will have a code base that probably has 100,000 lines of C++ and Java code already written. So in a code base that is 100,000 lines big, you will be only adding few lines or at the most 100 lines of new feature to it. I do agree that you have to understand the 100,000 lines of Java or C++ code in order to write that few lines of code yourself. But the issue is, very rarely you get to write code from scratch, which is what you would have thought when you entered this job, that I want to do some work on core algorithms and data structures. Most of the code that you see is already written and the system is available for you, and you are asked to write code on top of an existing system, which is kind of disappointing because the kind of questions you are asked in the interview, you thought that you're going to write code from scratch. The other is the interview process itself. Even if you are having 3 or 4 years of experience, you still have to prepare probably few months or at least a few weeks in order to get prepared for the interview. There are umpteen number of times you may be working on Django or Flask in Python web development, but you will be asked a question how to implement a queue using a stack. So you may be asked a question, how do you find if two rectangles meet each other and find the coordinates of the meeting point. So it is very difficult right away to answer these questions without any preparation. You might have worked for 3 or 4 years in a job, but still you have to study at least for a few weeks in order to take these interviews, and the interviews will be usually 6 or 7 rounds long, even for a tier 3 organization. So the interviews are slightly difficult is an understatement. The interviews are going to be very difficult on you, especially if you are switching your jobs in mid career. If you are in your mid 30s and you want to switch jobs, you have to have a tough time to attend these interviews, right? We talked about the gym and the sumptuous food available for you, but then do you really have the time? You spend around 9 to 10 hours sitting in front of the computer, and you as you reach your late 30s or your early 40s, your physical fitness begins to take a toll, because you are always sitting in front of the computer thinking about it, ruminating about the things that you want to do next week, next month, all the time. Thereby your fitness is getting compromised, isn't it? You wanted to go for a trek on a weekend, but you couldn't go because there is a tool issue that needs to be fixed over the weekend. So you do have all the facilities around you, but there is no time to use them, because you have to get ready for the next project or the next tooling issue that's going to come. What are you going to do about it? So I told you about a lot of things that are cons for being a software developer. The first thing is the very salary that you think is such a boom for you becomes a bane, because it becomes a binding. And also the other thing that is very important is your lifestyle gets adjusted to the new salary package, and you can't go back to your earlier lifestyle, because you are sitting in front of the computer for 10 hours and then looking at the screen. Probably you have a chance of getting an eye problem also, and your fitness definitely goes for a toss unless you take special efforts to take care of it. So these are the cons that are so crucial you should know before being a software developer. Software development is a wonderful opportunity. You are allowed to think about concepts and also implement them, and also you are given a hefty pay package for that. So don't get me wrong, actually software engineering is a wonderful opportunity. Software engineering is very young discipline, unlike civil engineering or mechanical engineering, which is around 1000 years old. Software engineering is just 60 years old, right? It's a wonderful opportunity. You're given an opportunity to implement concepts, think about it, and also paid a hefty package for it. But then you have all these disadvantages, and you have to keep them in mind so that you go around that, or you have solutions to solve them. Hope this video makes sense for you. If you are a software developer, probably you would have experienced some of these things that I shared with you. If you are going to be a software developer, please do keep these things in mind, and before dreaming about a position in a tier 1 company. Hope you like this video. Give me a like and subscribe, and also share your comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching.